Hello dear students, welcome to this class of MA Final English Literature paper 5B, that is American Literature. And dear students, today we'll discuss uh, the Scarlett Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne as an open-ended novel. As you all know, the Scarlett Letter is a unified, masterly written novel, very well crafted, and it is structured around three crucial scaffold scenes, and it revolves around three important characters, the major characters that we are all related to, and the important characters and the symbol of the scaffold, which serves as a public place, a place of punishment and shame, lies the center of all the action. In the novel, Hawthorne, he strategically places three scaffold scenes. Remember, there are three scaffold scenes in the novel: at the beginning, and in the middle, and at the end. He uses these scenes as a unifying device for demonstrating the connection between the characters. The story, as we all know, it opens with the scaffold scene, which serves as a tool to introduce and unify the four main characters in the novel. At the first scene, located in the novel, we find Hester as being introduced to us, and Hester, he openly confesses her sin of adultery in the broad daylight, while the other two characters, Dimmesdale and Chillingworth, they merely observe from the crowd. They are part of the crowd, and they merely observe the confession of the heroine, that is Hester Prynne. They didn't even gather the courage to confess their sin. This scene, it also introduced the main characters, the four main characters: Hester, then the adulteress, Pearl, the daughter, Hester's product of sin, that is her daughter, Pearl, Dimmesdale, who is the second adulterer, and the father and father of Pearl is Dimmesdale, and then Chillingworth, the wise elderly husband of Hester, and thus it creates this event. It gives us the knowledge of the important characters of the novel, and also it paves the way of the coming events, the events which are yet to come, the following events. Dear students, the second scaffold scene, it occurs in the middle of the novel and is the climax of the plot, we can say. Dimmesdale, he climbs the scaffold alone and calls for Hester and Pearl to join him. A very emotional scene. It is not a public confession. However, it is done in the cover of darkness because there is no public, and it is staged in the darkness of night, and there is no other witnesses except for the evil Chillingworth, who now has his proof that Dimmesdale is Pearl's father. The third and the final scaffold scene, dear students, it occurs at the end of the novel. Here, Dimmesdale, he climbs the scaffold, and he climbs the scaffold along with Hester and Pearl at his side. This time it is in the light of the day, that is, it is in the broad daylight and before the crowd as witness. Now, Dimsdale, he publicly confessed his sin in broad daylight, and the crowd as witness, he publicly confessed his sin because he has overpowered, or we can say he has conquered his personal victory. All these scenes, dear students, they give us the structure of the narrative, and it is symbolical and its symbolical dimensions. The second scaffold scene, it provides a view of all the principal characters, that is Hester Prynne, Pearl, Dimmesdale, Chillingworth. So it introduces us to all the characters, the principal characters of the drama, and the dramatic vision of this Scarlett, and one of the most memorable tableaus in American literature, this symbol, the letter. In the covering of darkness, Dimmesdale has made his way to the scaffold to perform a silent vigil of his own, and so far as we have seen, or we can derive, Dimmesdale, he cannot attempt to deal with his guilt, but now we go deep into his subconsciousness, what is going on in his mind, in his spiritual mind, what he is thinking. He cries out with a shriek of agony that is heard by Hester and Pearl. Now he is feeling the pain. He cries out of agony, and this agony, this shriek, is heard by Hester and Pearl as they journey to their home from the bed of dying Governor Winthrop. So this particular novel, The Scarlet Letter, it, dear students, it aims and it shows the spiritual journey, and it also shows to us the importance of scaffold and the importance of the scaffold scene. So the main characters, they are introduced, and then how these characters, they openly confess, and how it is the heroine Hester who openly confess her sin of adultery in broad daylight. But the male characters, that is Dimmesdale and Chillingworth, they are mere onlookers from the from amongst the crowd. So the scaffold scenes, they bring out the importance of this symbol, the symbol of scaffold, and how Hester Prynne, she emerged as a victorious, brave lady who faced all these consequences and who brings up her daughter Pearl. Dear students, I hope you have understood this uh, important scaffold scene, and how all the important characters, they are introduced at the scaffold, and also how Dimmesdale, he hesitate in his confession, and then again he confess, of course, with Pearl and Hester uh, in the broad daylight. Thank you very much.